As writers, we're often curious about our writing style. We're wondering actually, what is it? How do we develop it? Is it innate? Is it something I have inside of me? And then we can look at other people's writing style and we can actually get discouraged thinking, I can't write like that. Perhaps I'm not a writer. What is my writing style? How do I unearth it? How do I discover it? So in this video, we're going to look at all of those questions. Hello, I'm Brenda. This is Write Your Story, and I love to help you to write your memoir. If you haven't already, do subscribe and click on the notification bell as we discuss all things memoir. This video was actually inspired by a viewer. I had someone reach out to me who follows this channel and read my book. And she wrote to me and said to me, I was struck by how simple your language is. She went on to say that somehow she thought that when she wrote, her language needed to be frilly and full. And so she was particularly struck that my language is very simple, straightforward, and straight up. She also went on to add that perhaps hers had been influenced that she's done a lot of poetry and creative writing. So not long after I read that comment, I actually reviewed somebody's work who was looking for help on her memoir writing. And she sent me snippets of her memoir, and the ones that she sent me were essentially vignettes. They were snapshots of her life that were really so deep in imagery and taking you into the immediacy of the moment. It was just attractive to read her writing. And I looked at it and went, wow, these are beautiful vignettes. I wish I could write like this. My writing's just so simple and straight up. And that got me thinking, what is writing style? What is the writing style we should actually each have? And should I write vignettes or should I write my simple language? And I think it comes down to what piece are you writing and what's going to influence your writing style. But I think also innately we all have our own writing style. It's a reflection of who we are as people. Our writing style is essentially our voice. As writers, we're also often trying to decide what our voice is. Well, our voice is going to come out in our writing style. They're going to marry together and essentially be one and the same. And Mary Karr, in her book, The Art of Memoir, has this to say about voice and writing style. She says, the secret to any voice is to sound on the page like you do in person. The writer doesn't choose these styles so much as he's born to them, based on who he is and how he experienced the past. And so I thought what I'd do in this video is using her statement as a launch pad. We're going to look at voice and writing style. Now, our writing style is very much going to be influenced by factors such as our gender, our race, where we were born, which era we grew up in. But for the purposes of this video, I'm going to look at two other key elements, and they are our family of origin, the family we grow up in, and our own personality, who we are as people. And I'm going to use my own life to illustrate how I've come to have a very simple, straightforward, straight up, concise writing style, which is reflected in my videos. A lot of you comment on how concise my videos are, and very much reflected in the writing style that impacted this viewer and this reader. And by doing that, I'm hoping you'll now look at your own life, your own family, your own personality, and be able to translate that into the language that you use when you write and what your writing style is. So how did I come to have such a simple, straight up, straightforward, cut and dried, call a spade writing style? Or as somebody who overheard me speaking on the telephone one day after I hung up looked at me and said, wow, you are to the point. Why use 5 words if 3 will do? I think essentially it comes down to my family of origin. I grew up the only girl in a family of boys. I had older brothers and a younger brother. And I grew up being one of the boys. My brothers didn't play my games. So I learned to play their games. Cops and robbers, shoot 'em up, rough and tumble. Those were the games I played. My 2 best friends before school and after school when I was a young kid were boys. The neighbors on either side were boys. They were my age, and I'd play games with one and I'd play games with the other. They actually never played games together, but I would go and play boys' games with them. And so I grew up knowing what it was to interact as a boy, to speak like a boy, to have interests like a boy, to actually be a boy, and that was who I was. I did have girlfriends and girls who were friends later in life, but at the essence of growing up, I was very much enmeshed in boy living. I learned what it was to just speak plainly, clearly, state my case, and not feel I had to excuse it. This influence of boys in my young life actually gave me the tools to write very simply and straightforwardly. Another influence and impact in my life was my father. I discuss this in my book, When God Says No. He didn't have the soft touch. He was certainly all about being to the point, saying things the way they are, and no histrionics, please, and certainly no place for tears. And even though I was close to my mom was not a girly girl. She was a down-to-earth, practical woman. So these were the factors that actually molded me, that all contributed to a way of being in this world and a writing style that's actually direct and to the point. I like the story to move along at a good clip. I don't have patience with long-windedness. And so that is a personality style that I think is actually just within me. Another personality type I have that shows up in my memoir and my book is the fact that I value honesty. I value openness. I value knowing where I stand with people and that other people know where they stand with me. And that comes out in my interactions with people, but also in my writing style. I know somebody commented on my memoir that you put your soul on every page. And I did, because it's natural for me to do that, but it was also the topic I was writing about. The topic that I was writing about lent itself to that. The genre I was writing in as personal narrative lent itself to that, but it also came very naturally for me to do it, because I also realized maybe this is influenced by a piece of advice I got from somebody who once said to me when I needed to go for counseling, when you're in counseling, don't waste your time. Say all those hard things and get to the point as quickly as you can. The sooner you get to that hard point, the sooner you vocalize them, the sooner you will start to heal. And she was so right. And so I think too, when it came to writing my memoir, that was really another influence in my life that took me to that place where my personality style, my upbringing, and that advice allowed me to be very honest on the page from the start and to continue that way. I didn't have to first find my way to it. It came quite naturally. So I share all that with you with the intention that in unpacking who I am, how my family of origin, how my personality, how I am in this world comes out in how I write and what my writing style is. And so what is it for you? I recommend that after this video, you take the time to actually just sit and to look at who you are and who you were in your family growing up. Where did you fit in? What were the influences? What are some of the memories that come to you from this time of trying to place yourself in your family? And actually capture them, jot them down, and then start to write those scenes. Think about your personality, how people describe you, how people comment on who you are. Because sometimes how we see ourselves is not how other people see us. And so take all those comments, take things that people say to you, and what does it say about you, and how do you reflect that in your writing? And one of the benefits of it too will be that when you look at somebody else's writing and you go, boy, I wish I could write like that, you'll realize that actually you have your own unique voice and writing style that is only yours, and they have theirs, and you can appreciate theirs and learn from it, and they can appreciate yours and learn from it. So really the simple message is be yourself, put yourself on the page, develop your own writing style. That will unleash your voice that is uniquely yours, and then appreciate everybody else's that is different from yours. I'll look forward to seeing you in my next video as we talk about writing, the writing life, and getting our memoirs out onto the page. I'll see you in that video.